Hi everyone. Today we're going to be talking about a problem that has been posted to the internet and gone viral, but not everyone has been able to solve it. So the problem we are talking about is the 6's problem. So over here, let's talk about the 6's problem. We have been given all the numbers from 0 to 10, and we must find a way to using the three numbers that we have been given in our equation, how do we get the number 6? So you can see that in each of these equations, all of them have a sum or have an answer of 6. So we have a few rules over here. The only operations we are allowed to use are plus, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, square root of, and factorial. We are also allowed to use brackets, but we are not allowed any exponents. So exponents are not allowed, meaning we cannot raise a number to its power. Now, we are also not allowed to use any other numbers. So that means we have to find a way to get 6 using only the digit we have been given, and we're only allowed to use it 3 times. So that means you cannot simply get rid of a 0 or get rid of a digit. So you must use all 3 6's. All 3 digits. So give this problem a try. See if you can figure it out. After that, we'll be discussing the solutions to this question. Okay, so now let's talk about the solutions. But before we do that, I'd like to say that we will not be discussing all of the potential answers because there are many answers to each question, and we will only be talking about a few commonly accepted answers. You may find some other answers to all of these questions, and if that happens, be sure to drop your answer in the comments section. So without further ado, let's get started. So our first one is 0, 0, and 0. And we have to find how we use this to get 6. Now, mathematicians know is that 0 factorial is 1. So that means if we took each 0 and factorialed it, meaning we found the factorial of it, then that would give us 1, 1, 1. So now all we have to do is find how 1, 1, 1 would give us 6. Now, if you think about it, 1 plus 1 plus 1 gives us 3, and the factorial of 3 gives us 6. So we have found the answer to 0, 0, 0, which is 0 factorial plus 0 factorial plus 0 factorial in brackets, and the factorial of that gives us 6, because that would give us 1 plus 1 plus 1, and the factorial of that is 6. So let's write that down. 0 factorial plus 0 factorial plus 0 factorial, and the factorial of that. Okay, so now our next one says 1, 1, 1, and we must find how you get 6 from that. Now, looking at the previous question, we figured out that 1 plus 1 plus 1 gives us 3, and the factorial of 3 gives us 6. So we can say that 1 plus 1 plus 1, and the factorial of that gives us 6. So we can say our answer is 1 plus 1 plus 1 factorial, because that gives us 3 factorial, which gives us 6. So let's write that down. Now our next one is 2, 2, 2. And we need to find how that gives us 6. So this one is pretty easy because if you look at it, 2 plus 2 plus 2 gives us 6, which is pretty simple and straightforward. There are a few other answers to this question, but for presentation purposes, I'm just going to keep 2 plus 2 plus 2. So 2 plus 2 plus 2. Oh, just right. Oh, okay. So our next one is 3, 3, 3, which gives us 6. So this one is a bit more complicated, but with a little thinking, you can tell that there are a few answers to this question because 3 factorial already gives us 6. Now we have 2 remaining 3's, and we need to use them to cancel each other out. So there are a few ways we can do this. We could add 3, then subtract 3, or we can multiply it by 3, but then divide it by 3. So 3 factorial plus 3 minus 3 works, because that would give us 6. And then 3 factorial multiplied by 3 divided by 3 also works because that gives us 6. So I'm going to try and write both of them. Okay, now our next one I'm going to do on this page. 4, 4, 4. We need to figure out how that gives us 6. So this one is also slightly complicated. But after a bit of thinking, you can figure out that the square root of 4 gives us 2. So we're going to be using this in our equation. If we multiply 4 by the the square root of 4, meaning 4 times 2, which gives us 8. And then if we take away if we take away the square root of 4, which is 2, we get 8 minus 2, which gives us 6. So 4 times 2 minus 2 gives us 8 minus 2, which gives us 6. So I'm going to write that down once more right over here. 4 times 4, or the square root of 4, minus the square root of 4 gives us 6, because 4 times 2 minus 2 gives us 8 minus 2, which gives us 6. So I'm going to write that right over here. Okay, so now our next one over here is 5, 5, 5. And we need to figure out how that would give us 6. So there are a few answers to this, but the one I'm going to stick to is 5 plus 5 divided by 5, because that would give us 5 plus 1, which gives us 6. So I'm going to write that down right here. 5 plus 5 divided by 5 gives us 5 plus 1, which gives us 6. Okay, so our next one is 6, 6, 6 to give us 6. So there are also, again, a few answers to this one, but I'm going to stick with the simplest answers, which are 6 times 6 divided by 6, because 6 is already, simply 6. So if we use our remaining 6's to cancel each other out, that would give us 6 times 1, which gives us 6. Again, 6 plus 6 minus 6 would also work because that would give us 6. So both of these work. 6 times 6 divided by 6 gives us 6. And 6 plus 6 minus 6 also gives us 6. Okay, so our next one is 7, 7, 7 to make 6. Now this one is fairly similar to the one we did with 5, where we just added 5 plus 5 divided by 5. So we're going to be doing the same thing here, except instead of adding 7 divided by 7, we're going to subtract 7 divided by 7, because then that would give us 7 minus 1, which gives us 6. So I'm going to write that right here. 7 minus 7 divided by 7 gives us 7 minus 1, which gives us 6. Okay, so our next one is 8, 8, and 8 to make 6. Now, this one is what people say one of the most hardest ones out of these 10, because this one takes a fair amount of thinking. But after a while, you can tell that if you add up 8 and 8, these two 8s, so 8 plus 8 gives us 16. The square root of 16 is 4. And the square root of 4 is 2. So 8 minus the square root of the sum of 8 plus 8 gives us 6. So if that doesn't make sense, don't worry. I'll explain it. 8 minus the square root of 16 gives us 8 minus the square root of 4. Which gives us 8 minus 2, which in the end gives us 6. So I'm going to write that down right here. Okay, I'll write it once more right over here. Okay, so now our second last one, which is 9, 9, and 9 to make 6. So how do we do this one? This one also may take a bit of thinking, but we can figure out that if we add up 9 and 9, so 9 plus 9 gives us 18. And if we divide that by 3, or the square root of 9, we get 6. Because 9 plus 9 is 18. Oh, yikes. Over here I meant the square root of 9. So 18 divided by the square root of 9, which gives us 3, is 6. So I'll write that once more right over here. Okay, moving on to our last one, which is 10, 10, 10. This is one of the most hardest ones, but the solution can come with a bit of thinking.